So the next question says, which of the following is not a viable monetary policy target for the Fed? A says the inflation rate, B says the interest rate, C says the money supply, and D says the money demand. And so monetary policy can take many forms. We know that, for example, the Fed can engage in open market operations. They can sell or buy treasury bonds, and that is going to affect the money supply. And so C is definitely going to be a viable monetary policy target. That is, in fact, probably the most viable monetary policy target that the Fed is interested in. Similarly, we know that the Fed has control over interest rates. And so, again, the Fed can say there seems to be an economic recession coming on. There's a crisis right now. Let's lower the interest rates so that it softens the blow and increases the ability of investors to take out loans and stuff like that. And so that's, again, also going to be a viable monetary policy target. The inflation rate is tied to money supply in terms of price level. So we know that that's something that the Fed is keenly aware of and also trying to keep in mind when conducting policy. So A, B, and C all seem to be aspects of monetary policy that the Fed is working with pretty directly. D says the money demand, and again, this seems to be more so a aspect of monetary policy that is more so on the consumer side and investor side. It is not something that the Fed has complete control over. It is not something that is determined purely by what the Fed does. There are a lot of factors that go into whether or not demand for money is high or low. And so this is also not something that you often see the Fed saying, well, we want the money demand to be higher, let's do this. We want the money demand to be lower, let's do this. The same way that they might say, we want inflation to be higher, we want inflation to be lower, etc. And so D is going to be the best answer for this question as one of the options which is not a viable monetary policy target for the Fed. Let's take a look at the previous tutor's answer. So the previous tutor said, as we know, the monetary policy is a policy led by the central bank of the country. The main tools of monetary policy are open market operations, reserve requirements, discount rates, etc. The main targets of monetary policy are divided into three parts known as exchange rate, monetary aggregates, and interest rate. Monetary policy is mainly used by macroeconomic goals like stability, full employment, etc. So we can say that options A, B, and C are the monetary policy target for the Fed. Therefore, option D is the correct option. I mean, I think that's pretty accurate. So we can say good, and we can move on to the next question.